joined by NBA analyst, the czar, Mike Fratello. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Morning, gang.
Good to see you, Coach. Thank you so much for joining.
Appreciate you having me here.
You came in with you had some gifts or something.
Came in
for us?
hot.
Listen, I hate to bring this back up again, but just a little something I slept in last night.
What is this?
Well, along the way, we had to beat a few other teams.
That's mine. That's mine right there.
No. You have to win the last game to get the championship.
So hold on,
What am I
wait.
missing?
You coached at Shaq's fantasy basketball camp,
I did.
correct?
I did.
You coached against Chris Carter?
Yes.
And you beat his team in the championship.
I didn't take any shots that night, but I tried to.
What about the shots you took on me in the first quarter? Hey, first of all, Coach, you put the youngest guy on me, a 30
How many years
year.
ago was this, just so I'm clear?
It was last summer.
Yeah, he was trying to dog.
okay.
He was trying to dog you, wasn't he?
He had a guy that wasn't supposed to be playing, supposed to be 35. Guy is 30, played in Vegas. Put him on me, full court
Didn't read
press.
his birth certificate.
And then I was talking. Let's go.
Oh, you were talking a lot.
Yeah,
you were.
that's it.
See what Cece looks like fired
Oh, my
up? Fired
God.
up.
Coach was talking trash back.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk
The
about
czar is no joke.
the 76ers. It's been quite the swing for them. 2 years ago, they won 10 games. Last night, they not only won their 50th game, they were favored by 9.5 over the Hawks. How do I know that? Don't worry about it. Sixers winning their franchise record 15th straight game last night. Now, win tonight over the Bucks clinches the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference for them. If they lose and the Cavs win, they face the Pacers in the first round of the playoffs. Coach, I'll start with you. How impressive is the 76ers turnaround?
28 games a year ago. Now all of a sudden they've won their 50th game, moving on to 51. And when you look at what's happened with this team, everybody made fun of the word process, but the process has taken place. And when you have high draft picks and you don't give up and you weed out those you don't want to move forward, they built the roster and they stayed incredibly with their head coach, who is an excellent head coach. They run really good stuff on offense, and they compete defensively. And now think about this. How many teams on their way to 50 wins after the All-Star break or around that time add 3 great pieces to the team? Bellinelli was one. Ilyasova was the second. And then you have to think about this. They added Fultz.
Markelle Fultz.
Okay, the #1 pick who hadn't played for him all season. He comes back, and he's given them a little bit of speed and quickness and one-on-one ability. This is a really deep team.
The Bellinelli-Ilyasova additions are so interesting because typically those types of players, Golden State, Houston, Cleveland, teams, those guys go. The buyout market goes for guys. They want to go try to win a championship. I got my money from this other team. They bought me out. Let me go try and win a championship. Philadelphia kept the roster and cap flexibility to be able to bring those guys in, and they were good enough already that those teams, those players could sign there and say, we can still make a deep playoff run. Since Christmas, we're talking about today will be the 50th game they've played since Christmas. That is the majority of the season. Second best record in the NBA. Second best defense in the NBA, the best net rating, so point differential in the NBA over an enormous stretch of time. I can't remember seeing a team this young playing this well. People will bring up the Thunder with Durant and Russ and Harden, but they didn't play at this level when one of those guys was a rookie, when one of those guys was a second-year player, as Embiid essentially is. Like, a team this young, like, is there precedent for it in your eyes, this young playing this well?
I know that I had a team in Cleveland at one time where we started 3 rookies, and brought the 4th one.
And who were those rookies, Coach?
It was Zydrunas Ilgauskas,
Yep.
Brevin Knight, Cedric Henderson, and then the 4th one was the kid Anderson out of Kentucky. And what happened was I was starting him, and then I realized we'll be better if we bring him off the bench for scoring. So about 12, 14 games in, I sat down with Derek, talked to him, and said, listen, we need you coming off the bench, and then you'll be on the floor at the end of games. Henderson gave us a 6'8" long defender. Couldn't make shots. Probably would have won 4 more games if he could make a 15-footer. But he defended, he ran. It gave us great balance with that first unit. But that group, the point is, 4 rookies won 47 games that year with the Cavaliers.
Now, Coach, one thing that we like to be the show, and it's nice to have you, to talk about coaches. Very few basketball shows, they talk about the marquee guys, talk about the rotation. They don't talk about the coaches. I believe coaching is very important, especially at the professional level. You talked about you have to believe in the process, because also in the process, they didn't kill the coach. Typically, a guy who compounds those types of losses they're going to fire him. So one is, how good is the coach? And number two is, and you talked about this, and I've been following your career, you've always done a great job with basketball development. You're developing the younger guys up under you. How good of a job has Philadelphia done in developing these guys in their overall character and their overall basketball skill?
Chris, it starts, as you know, even before that, starts with the evaluation of the talent before they pick them, select them. Because oftentimes, guys get high picks and don't do a good job. Anthony Bennett in Cleveland, number one
The
pick.
entire last decade in Orlando. Yeah.
You have to have people, personnel people, that understand who can play and who can't play in the NBA. Philly's done a very good job of identifying that. And look, everybody makes a mistake, but if you make a mistake, move it on quickly.
Right. They
Don't
made a
tell
mistake
anybody
with
else it
Michael
was a
Carter
mistake.
Williams, and they
We happen
flipped
to have this guy available if you want him. Okay? You know, however you word it, get him out of there and move on. You made a mistake. Okay, don't keep him to prove a point. Well, they've believed in Brown. Brown and his staff have done an incredible job developing. Think about this. We don't even talk about Sarge. If Sarge was on another team, he'd be like, wow, this guy's young, he's talented, shoots threes, rebounds, can get you 25 points. Wouldn't even talk about him on this team. It's incredible.
Quickly, you talked about these young guys, and I'm just wondering if that parlays itself into experience and the lack thereof, and what that means when you head into the postseason. Or are you concerned about them at all because of their lack of experience, or what you've seen over this last 15-game stretch sort of leaves you without any concern?
When I was doing talk shows 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I was saying, yeah, this Philly run is great. However, when it gets to the playoffs, we got to watch out. They're young.
Yeah.
Okay? Now they had Redick in the starting unit. Now they've added Ilyasova, Bellinelli, guys who have had big games under their belts. I think this group is talented enough. Watch out if you get them. I asked a couple coaches about 2 weeks ago, who would you not want to see in the playoffs? Cleveland, they said, and Philadelphia was the second team that they would not want to meet in the playoffs. They could be so young and so hungry and so excited that they're dangerous.
It's good stuff. Coach, stick around. Coming up, how concerned should we be with the Warriors' recent struggles? We'll talk about the Western Conference next on First Things First.